The Lockhart perspective. Well, Jerusalem has a flare-up and it leads to dozens of Gaza rockets, 20 reported dead in an Israeli airstrike. Palestinian media on Monday reported deaths in Israel strikes on targets in Gaza Strip following rocket fire at the Jerusalem area and southern Israel as tensions in the region boil over. The Israeli military boasted its presence along the Gaza border amid heightened tensions in the area and violent clashes between Israeli police and the Palestinian protesters in Jerusalem. The military also said that it was suspending a major drill by a day to focus efforts on preparing for a possible escalation. And in southern Israel, authorities called on residents of Gaza border communities to remain at home and near bomb shelters until further notice. Some 150 rockets were fired from Gaza Strip throughout the day, the Israeli military said in a statement. Air defense systems intercepted dozens of them, the military added. 5 major Tel Aviv suburbs have called off all school classes on Tuesday amid the recent escalation and fear of rocket fire. In joint statement, 5 of the mayors said that they were not compromising when it comes to the safety of our inhabitants, our children, and our teaching staff. The towns, which are in the Tel Aviv area itself, are Rishon LeZion, Bat Yam, Holon, Nez Tiznoya, and Rehovot. Israeli army jets attacked a Hamas tunnel Monday evening, and the Israeli army lieutenant said, so now it is apparent that what is going on is these folks are blatantly being attacked. And I don't know why it just seems sort of one-sided to me, but it's just what it is. This story is really developing story, and it has been going on for quite some time. Of course, we know it's not something that's brand new, but it has been going on for quite some time. At the start of this year, if you'll remember, at the end of December in 2020, there were absolutely several of the same type of bombs and things that had hit on Christmas Day, where Israel had attacked the area there. So it doesn't matter what goes on, but it does appear that this is something that's just going to just continue. About 10:38 p.m., Gaza rockets caused damage to the property in South Israel. A rocket that landed in the Israeli town of Serdot on the Gaza border caused minor damage to a nearby building, and no casualties were reported. The way the story comes across to me is if, just to be plainly honest, it appears that Israel is doing things and then saying that they're the victim, and so that everyone else will have some type of sympathy with them. And I won't bite my tongue on that point. I just believe that as much as we try to fight for, the rights of other people and try to, push for peace and things of that nature, it has appeared to me that the only people who have given anything, and I have to just look at history, it's not a personal opinion, it's just based on what is historic, and that is from the giving up of this amount and that amount and then taking it back, and first of all, being there all together. Having to declare it a nation state tells me right there that if you've got to declare something a nation state, that it was never yours in the first place. I mean, no one has to go in and put a flag in their front porch, on their front porch, to prove that the house is theirs if they own the deed and the land and everything belongs to them. But that's exactly what's been going on here. So these stories are becoming a little concerning because they seem to be leading in a direction that will cause all of us a bit of problem. The whole, number 3 thing going on, the WW3, as it were. So that is very concerning. It's highly concerning. And I don't see enough people just being honest and saying, hey, this is just like a big bully picking on the people that they already, it's like somebody comes into your house, steals it. And after they steal your house, you're living in the front yard and then they keep picking on you and telling everybody that you're bugging them. This is the biggest amazing crock that I think I have heard in a long time. So It's just one of those things that make you just go, hmm. So before we leave here, let's just say hello to Wake Up Call Gaming. Hello there, Gerald. Happy Monday to you as well. As well, we have Sarah Brown. When all else fails, take the country to war to distract from the government and incompetence. I hear the warmongers beating the drums louder and louder. Very true, Sarah. Happy Monday from Wake Up Call. Yeah, the emojis are what give it to me. They just give it to me, Ronnie. That's hilarious. And to you, Wake Up Calling. She says, so yeah, and it is. And so I think that it's just plain to see that if we can hear a lot of rhetoric, but then if you do a lot of either biblical study or even just world history, there are some questions that you've got to ask. And those questions are exactly what I said. Why would you have to call someplace yours and declare it with a flag and becoming a nation state and all these other things if it belonged to you? Clearly, there were remnants of the individuals who were there prior to them occupying. So did they go and say, well, it's ours? And, no, they were there already and they were pushed off. And maybe along the way, in retaliation, they did something like that. But I don't remember seeing it. And if it has, then it just was. But I just feel as if, this is just getting out of hand. It's totally getting out of hand. This is going back and forth and back and forth. They do something to the Palestinians in the middle of the night on a holiday for most of them there, especially when you consider what happened with Syria. The middle of the night on a Christmas Eve, going into Christmas morning, and now just back and forth. And so I only see it ending in one direction. And that direction, I think, is with something going on with Russia. And the problem with that is we don't want none of that. Trust and believe we don't want none of that. We're like that rooster that's in the middle of the in the middle of the hen yard, kicking up the dirt with his feet, who really is not as big and bad as he thinks he is. And then he comes up on a really big one. And that big cat right there is not going to have him in the middle of that hen yard because he wants all the hens to himself. That kind of cat. Yeah. And I think that's exactly what we're coming up on. Hello. I'd like to welcome one of our members here. Hello, Iron Crane 2003. Hello. It's good to see you. And so I just feel as if this is a very, very soft area that we need to walk in. You know what I mean? Yes, the Declaration, the Balfour Declaration, circa 1917 is exactly where I'm headed, Ronnie, man. Absolutely. And I think that those are the things that are important to mention, is that if people don't, matter of fact, you know what I think I should do? I should see if I can find that copy. I had a copy of that declaration some time ago that I looked over, and maybe I will look and see if I can't find that and read that this evening, because I think that's important to note, that everyone should understand that there's more going on. Obviously, we do. I think everybody does, and it's just very concerning. It's very, very concerning because, as again, you've got Bedouins and you've got just people that have been pushed back as far as they can be pushed. And the one thing I'll say is I mean, how much can people take before they just snap? How much? I mean, and it's not going to be something where it won't have anybody defending anybody else, because of course, Israel will cry the wolf, will cry wolf, and will cry the baby, and then we'll have to go in and help. But aren't we already doing enough? I don't know. It's amazing. Yes, but the declaration, the Balfour Declaration, circa 1917, the Declaration of Balfour would definitely be a great place for everybody to start. If they've not already started there and they've not already read that, I recommend that you get a hold of it and read it if you can. But again, I may grab it and see if I can find it again, because I did have it, and see what I can come up with. But yes, it is not good, and it's definitely not what we think it is. It's far more grave. It's amazing when you hear somebody that has that much power pretend or feign to be the victim. You've got all the power you want, and you are the victim, which tells me that this is a little bit of a flip-flop method to push us in another direction. In tandem with that, I'm not sure if you guys notice a lot of the stuff going on with the oil and all of that stuff right now. As soon as we cut off our ability to do what we needed to do for ourselves and became, dependent on outside oil, here it comes, right? We've got the big thing going on with the Colonial Pipeline. And that seems to be something that's going to be a mess, a really big mess. And so we'll have it all on the north and the eastern northern area. So the northeast, all of the southeast, all in this area, there's going to be a major problem. And that should hit first. I think this is just my, my perception on what I think, which is my perception. I believe that it might, come in this area first and then of course spread out. But it's just not good. The whole thing stinks to high heaven. And I'm wondering if people who had anything to do with, the whole trend right now, wow, that's a lot. I'm just wondering if anybody who had anything to do with the whole trend right now really feels as if it's better than it once was, because it's not that, as far as, economics, and it's especially for us, we already know who controls our future and our lives, but it's certainly something to say. You know what I mean? It's certainly worth talking about, even though we're not of this place. We know that, we get that, but it's certainly something to discuss, especially as it relates to end times. And as we see all this stuff happening right now, it's just really, it makes me shake my head. It just makes me shake my head and wonder, what the heck is going on next? We have another one of our members here, and I'd like to say hello to her. Hello, Rachel Van Ziel. You say it's almost $3 a gallon already. So that's where you are. Here it's more. And then I'm not sure. I think it was already rocking at 3 and change prior to the whole incident happening there with the Colonial Pipeline in California. So only goodness knows how much it is. I'm not sure if Iron Crane is still here, but Iron Crane, has it gone up at all there? I'm wondering. Iron Crane 2003. So with that said, I just wanted to bring that to you because, there have been dozens and dozens of rockets that have been fired over the past several months. Of course, we know that it's been going on longer than that, but I'm just capturing the last several months because the tensions are rising and rising and rising and rising. And I don't know how much more destabilization can take place in that region. It seems like all of the areas there from all of the areas that wanted to, say, for example, take gold for their fuel or their petrol or their petroleum, however you want to say it. All of those places have been pretty much annihilated. And I think there's just a couple of more places that are, standing just barely. And so I don't like it. And I feel like there's a lot of us who want to say it, but just don't. And it's just unfortunate. It is just unfortunate. It really is unfortunate that this is what we're dealing with right now in this day and age. Okay, let's see here. We have Melanie said that this conflict is also big business. Israel's biggest export is weapons. Well, they're the Khazarians, so they're going to fund both sides. And that's again, I keep saying this is my opinion, but they are the Khazarians, and that's just my opinion. And then there is two sides that they will fund. And, anytime you can go into a country and then leave your weapons, that tells you something. And then we go into places and we leave our weapons. So there's that. Yeah. The next one is, it's not going to be any one thing. A cascade of events will do it. And that's exactly right. And that's exactly where we are. Rachel Van Ziel says, good afternoon, everyone. Iron Crane says, yeah. Did you ride a bike? Oh, he says that I haven't owned a car in like 15 years, Felicia. So I'm not sure about the gas prices. Well, good for you. When you said, when you said the first, I was like, oh my goodness, he doesn't drive. Well, that's good. And that's very rare in California, especially. I know that there was an old song, Nobody Walks in LA. And I'm not sure if that was Del Bazzi or who wrote that, but it was a song years and years ago, walking in LA. Nobody, but nobody walks in LA. The entire families are getting wiped out in India. Yeah, they are. And that is so tragic. It is tragic. I'm not sure, I could speak on what I think that is. We're having our first members only chat this week, and I will probably go ham then as it relates to this story right here, because I've got my own idea about what Melody K has here. Yeah, I know I'm going to be going in. So, Yeah, that'll be on the first members only chat this week that we have. That'll be a closed off chat. So let's see. Sarah Brown says, no, and no, this world is not our home, but we're here to help each other as much as we can while we're here. Thank you, Felicia, for all you do to help. I appreciate you very much, Sarah. I really honestly do. And I'm very happy that you're here as well. And it's important for us to understand the historical pieces that go along with what we're seeing right now. There are a lot of powers that be that would like for us, people that would like for us not to focus on the fact that there is history. And ironically, some of this history, because it's biblical in nature, we can track to the best of our ability. Because again, in my opinion, there are no books out here that are still totally whole or that were ever given for pure information. Just let that sink in. The books that we have right now, and of course, we're going to, let me just exegete the Bible out of that because that's an argument that I don't want to get into. I just want to make a plain statement. The majority of the books dealing with history and information that you have right now are loaded with misinformation. And so the best thing that you can do is to piece together world history, and it usually has to go ancient, and then try to connect the dots there to get a solid feeling on what it is that you believe, because all the information's been tainted. But from what I know and from what I can see, the individuals that are residents there in that particular little place that's shaped like a thumb are squatters at best. It's not theirs. Now, you can do some historical research and share with me the difference. I will definitely, agree with you, or at least look at it with a respectful eye. No disrespect at all. It will be a respectful eye if you can give me information that's to the contrary. I will most assuredly agree that we have a fork in the road and that there is some more study that needs to be done, possibly on both sides, or at least I will acquiesce to do more research myself. But from what I can see, we have the biggest the most gigantic case of identity theft and identity fraud and land fraud and squatting that we've ever seen in the history of mankind. It's not the first time that'll happen. As we all know, we're on the we've been here before series, but this is very true. And I think that in order for us to get in an alignment with the word of Yah, we got to do our due diligence and understand exactly what we're looking at. And I think that having these stories come up every other day to paint them as the victim is a problem. It is a problem because you cannot be one of the richest places around as far as financial and reach of the arm. Their reach far exceeds anything that they could, put their hand out to. Their grasp is what's in front of them, but their reach, it goes beyond that, which means that is a very, I would say tactical. I would also say tenacious people, very tenacious and very crude, very, very crude. So with that said, I think we got an issue. All right, so let's see, before we pull out of here on this small news brief, because I've got several other stories that have to come behind this one. They're in different regions, and so they will not be with this particular news brief. And so we'll be getting off here. And so what I'm going to say is, if you are subscribed to the channel and you won't have time to come back, don't mind the alerts if you're getting them, because there's going to be several stories that are going to be hitting within the next couple of minutes here. I will be coming back with stories that are local, some stories dealing with the Wyoming governor. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that, some of the GOP governors and where their stances are right now, just as news is concerned. And there will also be a few other stories that I will be sending out. So with that said, you guys know how we do it here. There will be several news briefs. Today it's Monday, right? That's what we do. It's Monday. All right, so Rachel Van Ziel says, if we go electric, what happens to oil fields overseas and here? That's going to be a hot mess, because if somebody's just going to only give you one alternative to get around, and you know good and well that electric way is not going to be the best way at all. It's already got a load of problems. You will be you'll be landlocked. You'll be sitting in one spot, right? Because you'll only be able. That's just a nightmare. Again, a story that I'll have to possibly dig into very, very soon. Missing Persons wrote it. That was it. Yes. walking in LA. Hey, Mars Fool's Gold. So good to see you. Absolutely, it was missing persons. And what was the chick's name with the blonde hair that had the high pitched voice? Oh, she was really a good singer. I don't know why I'm forgetting her name, but she was very well known, as a matter of fact. Missing persons. That's right. So perhaps you guys will find that I'll be up late again tonight, listening to some music and sticking it on the community tab as I stroll down, as I stroll down, as I stroll down memory lane like I did the other night. And I got a lot of comments on some of the artists. And isn't it amazing that once our eyes are open, we really are able to connect the dots with some of those artists from the days of old? I put up a lot of old music. I also put up a lot of music that was some of the favorite things, right? So it was just some good stuff. So Kimon Reed, Unstoppable. Madam, how are you today? It's so good to see you. Such a positive young lady to be here with us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for stopping in. Melanie K laughs, LOL. Very sad wake up call, says Gerald says. I'm just going to call you Gerald because I know you as Gerald. Okay, when you have a friend, you just call them who they are. Fortunate, unfortunate, Gad is the deity of fortune. I don't give him any credit for anything. Hello, good evening, everyone. And there's the eyes of Anarchy Television. Skinny Boy says, facts, no books. There you go. All right, let's see. Hey, Anarchy, hope those pups are doing well. What kind of pups you got? I need a pup. And then she's giving you those eyeballs. Hello, Anarchy Television. Everyone is saying hello to everyone. No divine books are unmolested. All right. And then we have good evening. Everyone is saying good evening because we really care about Kimon. Good to see you. Please hit the like button. There you go. Yep, Rachel, 6 days old until, they haven't opened their eyes yet. Well, I want a puppy. Oh my, Miss Felicia is going in. Yes, I will be. So that will definitely be on the members only because we don't need a baseball term around here again. We don't need another baseball term. We don't need no education. No, we don't need any of that. Let's see. I'm reading The Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine by Ilan Papp. I hope I said that last name correctly, Mars Fool's Gold, unless it's Papy, but it looks like it could be Papp. Apology in advance if that is incorrect. He says, so sad of a story. Well, I'm very glad that you're reading that. And I do think that you'll understand exactly what I said, that they're all the Bedouins and everybody that's been pushed out. Those are the true inhabitants of that area, as well as a remnant of people who have been spread to all four corners of the earth. That's another show. That's another time. That's a Ronnie Mann handle, okay, and issue that my brother and I will deal with. But I think it's time for us to start to pay attention to what is true, especially for us who are called by, our Father. It's important. It's just what it is. I'll never be afraid of who I am in him, ever. So there's that. Let's see. No one will condemn the actions of certain nations. No, they won't. But the Most High Yah will definitely deal with that, most assuredly. I'm typing with one hand. I totally get it. I watched you younger. Are you saying you watched me on Fox Soul? I hope so. But if I don't know, if you did, they sent me a message saying that they were going to have me again. And so hopefully this time I'll keep my eyeballs on the camera and not digging around on the desk and having the eyeball with the with the bifocal. I said, Lord have mercy. This is television all over the world. And here I am looking all over the place. It was hilarious. Do you have an email for your channel? Yes, I do. And it is Felicia at FeliciaLockhart.com. One of the moderators. Thank you. There's my chief mod and producer, Ronnie Mann. Just put it there for you. All right. So I know what you meant, Kimon. Yes, I watched me on Fox Soul again, possibly to my detriment. The other night, I kept watching it over and over again because I was critiquing myself, and I will continue to do that until I go back on again because I aim to get it right. Right? That's right. Yes. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and pull out here. I appreciate each and every one of you again. Do not mind the alerts that you're about to start getting because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like 7 stories that I will be reading, and they will be coming out back to back to back, just so we can get caught up on some of the things that happened this weekend. All right, you guys. All right, folks, you all take care, and I will talk to you all soon. And this is Felicia Lockhart, and this has been the Lockhart News Brief. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.